So you're an addict. Well, me too. And pretty much everyone is. It's unlikely in your lifetime that you'll meet someone that's not addicted to something. Now, that doesn't have to be necessarily like alcohol or gambling. It can be something subtle like compulsive behavior, indulgence in your sense of self, compulsive thinking. Um, and, and so as we look at this kind of behavior and what that means in terms of managing it and healing from it, it's an interesting concept of, well, if I have a compulsion, let's say, to drink alcohol, and I say, okay, well, I'm just not going to do that, and I'm going to go the cold turkey willpower way. As we've seen, most of the time when you resist something, you're actually energizing it. And a cliche, what you resist persists. Um, so that's really not the right. That's not really what I think is the most effective way to go about this. So, okay, so you can't resist it. Well, what's the other way? Go the other direction. Indulge it. Well, okay, so that means go out and drink yourself till you black out, or go have sex with 100 people, or gamble yourself broke, and just saying that, it's like, well, maybe you could potentially do something so excessively that it just breaks you and you hit rock bottom, and that could be a process. But I feel like there might be a more elegant way to go about that, than to force yourself into a rock bottom place. Now, my suggestion, and this comes from Buddhist practice, is to sit in between indulgence and resistance. And it's kind of a weird concept. It's kind of like if you imagine a black and white next to each other. Well, on one side it's black, on one side it's white. But what about that place where they meet? Is it black or is it white? And if you go in, closer and closer and closer and closer, is it black or is it white? And and the interesting thing about that is it becomes kind of like this singularity point. It's like it's neither and it's both, and that's what that space is. That very delicate, subtle space in between resistance and indulgence. So, what does that look like? It's just watching. It's just watching, being aware. Now, in practice, that's like, let's say, I want to, you know, look at porn or something. Now, what I mean by watching is not watching the porn, it's watching the self go through the process of whatever that addiction is. And and okay, so if it's porn or sex or drugs or alcohol, it's like I'll the recommendation is to watch yourself go to the store, watch yourself make the purchase, watch yourself drink, and watch how you feel while you're doing this. Just be really, really conscious of everything that you're doing, and don't stop it necessarily. I mean, if it feels right to stop it, stop. But if you feel like you're resisting, don't do that. Now, you say, well, how is this possibly going to help? And the reason why it helps is because the only way to ever get out of these patterns of addiction is to bring presence into the experience. And that's what you're doing by watching. The healing corrective alignment that can only ever happen will come from presence in your experience. So you may watch yourself indulge for days, weeks, months, who knows? It doesn't, that's not actually important. What's important is that you bring more and more presence into the experience, every single time over and over and over again. And eventually, um, the presence will redeem the behavior. And you will see that, interestingly enough, the behavior was part of your evolutionary process. It was the trigger or the impetus to bring you, to invite you into more and more presence. So it's not something to be like, oh, this is an evil thing, or this is bad or wrong, or morally this or that. There's none of that. It's just one of an infinite number of vehicles to bring us, to invite us into presence. And so that's the recommendation. That's when you feel like, oh, I just really want to smoke that thing, or I really need to go and gamble or have sex with somebody, in a promiscuous way, not a loving way, but um, just watch. Just watch, like, what's really going on with me, and don't stop yourself, but just to watch what's really going on with me and be really mindful of how you're going about it. Even as you say, okay, I feel like I need a cigarette, walk to the store. But as you're walking to the store, watch your breathing the whole time. And if you get to the store and you feel like I don't want it anymore, that's fine. It's not good or bad. It's fine either way. But it could happen. It could also happen that you go ahead and smoke. That's fine too. Just watch your breathing the whole time. Just keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching. Thanks for watching.